Okay, so we're moving on now to project 3 and we're switching now to our Easter bunny. And let me just bring the mini catalogue back in and double check. This is on page 52 and you can actually get this as a bundle. So you can get the punch and the stamp set together for £32.25, so you're saving 10% there. But I'm not allowed to send stamped images. It's part of the Stampin' Up policy. So the cards that the projects that we're making in the online workshop today are just using the punch. But I did want to just give you a few ideas for using the punch together with the stamps, and I have used this in my blog, so there are some samples on there as well, so I'll show you some of these. I also just think that this punch is really cute for baby cards as well as for Easter, so I think that this is something that can be used year round. And I'm teaming it up with the Regency Park DSP, and this also is in this catalogue. Let me just grab it again and double check which page it's on. The Regency Park is page 31. So this is the Regency Park, and I'm actually also using these what are they? Adhesive backed milky dots, and you'll see how we use those. But these Regency Park papers are really pretty, and let me show you a set of these. They're very pretty florals on one side, and there is matching stamps and a punch and even dies, because it's like a double set of stamps and dies with these. So you've got lovely florals on one side, but what I've been using them more for is actually the subtle patterns that we've got on the other side. You've got some beautiful Mango Melody, we've got Night of Navy, Balmy Blue, and we've got Petal Pink. And this makes them particularly good actually for baby cards, because we've got the Petal Pink and we've got the Balmy Blue. So let me show you what we're doing. I'm actually going to do this as an Easter card today, but what I've done is pick out colours that you could use for a baby card instead. So whichever you want to make, you can go with your preference. Now, because of sort of numbers of patterns and things like that, if you get my make and take pack, you will either get a Petal Pink background with baby blues, or you will get a Balmy Blue background with Petal Pinks. So, and these are the milky dots that we're using. In actual fact, I've already got one of these already punched out, because this was a card that I did on my blog, and I'll link to that so that you can go to it if you want to. And again, this was just using the negative space and two different patterns of the Regency Park. So you can use that negative space to pop out the bunny, and then I saved it for doing this card here. So I'm just going to take out my insert, and I have made the card front a little bit bigger than I would do normally, and you'll see why that is in a bit in terms of placing the bunnies on. So I used this pattern, and now I'm going to also punch out this basket weave. And if you saw my Easter Bunny basket, this is another paper that looks really good on the Easter Bunny basket. Again, I'll link to that, and let me just grab that and show you. Now, I made this with the He's the Man paper DSP, because it's got a nice basket weave on it. And again, this is where I actually use the stamp with the bunny. So I did the little bunny and popped it on the basket. But again, this pattern would look really good on a little Easter basket. So I'll put the links in, as I say, for that. Let me straighten my desktop a bit. So we're just going to punch out, and I'm just double checking if there's anything on the back that I might want to avoid. So, because it's all the same on this side. And I just like to try and line this up so that there's something that kind of creates the nose, like that. So we've got one of those, and then I'm going to take this is actually a partial piece from the looks of it. I've already used the slivers for the inserts, thinking about it. And I'm going to go this way, up to you, whichever way you want to go. I like the vertical stripes, and again, get it lined up so that there's something that creates a nose. And there we have that. So I'll put that to one side for the moment. And I'm actually going to use the Easter Bunny stamp set for the Happy Easter. Like I say, I'm making this as an Easter card. I've already done a baby card, but you could quite easily use a baby sentiment on this instead. Now, because I'm using photo polymer, let me grab it. I want my base to be able to stamp on, and I'm going to use Night of Navy, and I'm actually going to stamp this vertically. This is going to be a vertical card. It's going to be a portrait card, but I'm going to stamp this here and here. But just to make life easier, I'm turning it around so that I can see that things are straight. So let's get that inked up. Straight on my background, straight-ish, and then I've nudged it, there we are. Try and keep it straight, and I need to rest my hand on it, so there we are. And I'm just going to stamp the Happy Easter there at that side. If you do make a mistake, what I would suggest is, obviously you can flip it over and try again, but what you could do is simply stamp this on a strip of basic white and then cut it out and put it over the top. So don't worry if you do make a mistake. So I'm going to stamp this again at this side, like that. And that's great. So move those out of my way. We're going to pop this on the front. So I'll just grab my stamping seal, move it along a little bit. And put this nice and central on here. So like I say, there's not much room all around for this. You're just going to have a sliver. If you find it better to use wet glue to be able to move it around, do that. So just going to turn it over and press from that side. And there's our card front. So what I'm going to do now, I want this one in the centre because it's got different colours, and then these ones are going above and below. So you can see there's not an awful lot of room. That's why I've gone for a wider centre, a wider card base, card front layer than I would normally do. Up to you whether you pop these up or whether you put them on direct. I'm going to pop them up, and I'm actually going to use a few mini dimensionals to just support that front paw and ears like that. So we're going to just peel the backings off these, and I'm going to just position this first one in this bottom corner, not very much of a gap around it. And then I'm going to do my top one, and then we can put that middle one in between the two, and we know exactly how much space we've got. But like I say, do put these close to the edge because there's not an awful lot of room to get all three in. But I do like, I have my sort of rule of threes, which is, or rule of odds, should I say. An odd number, for some reason, just looks more pleasing to the eye. So again, I'm going to pop that so that I've just got that tiny little gap between its tail and the edge and the ears and the edge. And that's going there like that. And then finally, we can pop our last one in between all of those. So that's those, and whoops, picked up a stamp on the back of there. There we go. So a nice simple card, like I say, Easter card or baby card. And I'm just going to try and get that, try and make sure that that's fairly well balanced in between the two. And then I want my take a pic tool when I can find where I've lost that. And I can't find it right at the moment. Okay, because we're going to use these milky dots. If you get the other pack, then you've got a different colour of dots just to go with a little bit better. And I can't find that, so I'm going to have to just use my rather grubby scissors. And I don't think that's working too well either. Okay. I really need to find my take a pic tool. I'm lost without it. There we go. And I'm just going to put this on as the eye. So that looks, and this was where helping to get a little bit of a nose kind of helps with this. And I will find my thing for the next. There we are. I will find my take a pic tool for the next card. So that is our outside. And for our inside, I've just got this strip that was part of this, but running the other way. And I'm going to use, what am I going to use? Let's see. Right, I'm not really wanting those ones. And I think this is going to accompany a little Easter basket or something. So I'm going to use, no, do you know, I know you won't have got this to be able to use in, but I am going to use another bunny, and I'm going to use actually a different one. So let's just grab him, get my mat. And I've managed to get ink on that, so let's flip it over, and I've got a bit of ink on here as well. That's what I'll do, is position this to stamp where that is. Try and make sure I've not got any more. There. You can just see it if you look very hard, but people won't know. So I'll just pop some seal on here. And I'm going to pop that down the edge there, just to the side of the bunny, like that. And here's a little bit of seal that's come out the edges. So I've still got my eraser. Unfortunately, we don't stock this anymore. Wouldn't be without it, to be honest. Right, so now I'm going to pop this in. But you can see that this works for, as I say, a baby card. And to be honest, I don't think it really matters which way round. For a boy or a girl, you used whether you use the pink and the blue and the pink. So there we have. So that's our first Easter project. And like I say, that is using, let me get that back again, the out punch of this. And I think the little milky dots just add a little bit of something to create an eye for each of them. You could even have done that on there as well. So like I say, that is our first Easter project, and now we're going to use the Easter bunny in a different way.